morning and welcome to the 2026 Northwestern Sports Hall of Fame Recognition Banquet. My name is Matt Adair and I have the esteemed privilege of serving as the Assistant Dean of Student Affairs here at Northwestern. And today, it is truly an honor to be your MC for the events that will unfold before us. Thanks to each of you for being here, to our alumni, families, friends, teammates, coaches, and our loyal supporters. Your presence here today means a great deal to our inductees and, of course, to Northwestern athletics. These moments are made even more meaningful because they're shared with people who have supported, encouraged, and celebrated these athletes throughout their journey. Today is a special moment on campus as we gather to celebrate tradition and reflect on the rich history of Ranger athletics. Today we also recognize some remarkable individuals being inducted into our Northwestern Sports Hall of Fame. This afternoon is as much about memories and friendships and shared pride as it is about the honorees themselves. Northwestern is proud to honor 4 exceptional Rangers today. And with so many great moments to celebrate, it is my pleasure to officially begin our program and this Hall of Fame journey with each of you. The Sports Hall of Fame Luncheon is truly a collaborative effort made possible through the partnership of many dedicated groups. Northwestern, the Alumni Association, and of course the Northwestern Foundation each play an essential role in making today's celebration a success. At this time, I'd like to collectively recognize the staff and board members of the Alumni Association and Foundation by asking them to stand and be recognized. I also have the privilege of working each day alongside an outstanding team of leaders that make up Northwestern's senior administration. And I'd like to take a moment to recognize those leaders here with us today. I'm going to ask that you please hold your applause until we finish, but we all know that's not going to happen. So if we could give them a very short and brief, deserving round of applause as we introduce them, I would appreciate it. We'll start with our university president, who will be addressing us later today, Dr. Bo Hannaford and his wife, Tara. Dr. David Pankey, our Executive Vice President and Vice President for Administration. Dr. James Bell, our Vice President for Academics. Mr. Caleb Mossberg, the Vice President of Student Affairs and Enrollment Management. Dr. Steve Meyer, the Dean of Faculty. Mr. Brad Franz, our Vice President of Athletics. Ms. Kelsey Martin, the Director of University Relations. And Ms. Jody Randall, the Administrative Assistant to the President. And of course, representing the Foundation and Northwestern Alumni Association, their leader, Mr. Skeeter Berger. The success of our athletic program really begins with its leadership. And we are incredibly fortunate to have Brad Franz guiding Ranger athletics. Through his tireless dedication and genuine commitment to our student athletes, Coach Franz has built strong programs and surrounded himself with an outstanding staff of coaches, and he has also worked to strengthen the relationships that make our community so special. At this time, it is my pleasure to invite Coach Franz to join us and introduce our coaches, athletic staff, and the members of our Sports Hall of Fame Committee. Mr. Brad Franz.
On behalf of the Athletic Department, the Hall of Fame Committee, and others, I would like to welcome you to this celebration of our Hall of Fame and the 2026 class. As AD, I'm proud to represent the university, our student athletes and coaches. Today is a great day as we induct 4 members of the Hall of Fame. Mario Woodson, Jeff Allen, Greg Johnson, and Melvin Swift. Each one of these Rangers has etched their signature in our history. For all of their athletic feats, there is so much more to these men. Ultimately, these Rangers deserve the highest athletic honor to be bestowed upon them. At this time, I would like to recognize the Hall of Fame Committee. Would you please rise when I call your name, and please hold applause to the end. Mr. Milburn Bartman, current Hall of Famer. Mr. Joe Phillips, current Hall of Famer. John Allen, the director of the Alumni Association. Tim Lauderdale, alumni member. Nathan Weatherly, director of internal operations. And Patrick Hinkman, director of athletic communications. They've done a great job. Northwestern Athletics, I'd like to thank our senior leadership. They were previously introduced, but all of them make a difference in our days in athletics and make things go well. Thank you to our senior leadership. We currently have a great group of current head coaches and athletic administrators that work tirelessly to help our student athletes. Not all are here today. Baseball's in Colorado, got a good win yesterday. They got 2 more today. Track is at Wichita State, and softball is in Missouri. But we do have a number of them, and I'd like to recognize the coaches and administrators in attendance and give them a round of applause when they're done. Gretchen Jones, Nathan Weatherly, and Patrick Hinkman are part of my staff. Carla Briscoe, soccer. Dan Campbell, golf. John Bingesser, volleyball. Tasha Dieselhorst, women's basketball. Sam Casey, men's basketball. Jerry Partridge, football. Jill Lancaster, women's track. Sterling Broomfield, track and cross country. Kelly Griffin, rodeo. Efren Barraza, softball. And Ryan Baldwin, baseball. This group of coaches brought in 580 student athletes this fall to participate in their sport at Northwestern, get an education, and possibly be Hall of Famers. Let's give them a big round of applause. There is one person that I always recognize, and that is our president, Dr. Bo Hannaford. All of you know Dr. Hannaford has a deep passion for Ranger athletics and Ranger students. Having played football and been a college coach, he understands what each one of our coaches go through each day. We appreciate his unending support for everyone at the university and athletics. Let's give him a round of applause. I personally want to thank each one of you for the support you give to our programs. Lastly, I want to congratulate our 4 inductees. Melvin, Jeff, Greg, Mario, all of you represent Northwestern and what it's all about. You have paved the way for the success of Ranger athletics. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to ask John Allen, Director of our Alumni Relations for the Northwestern Foundation and Alumni Association, to offer the blessing before our meal.
Please bow your heads. Our great, wonderful Father, thank you for bringing this Ranger family together to honor those who have made such an impact on the legacy of Northwestern athletics. We pray for your blessings on this day and on this event, and may our reunion bring joy, may it bring connection and reconnection, and may the new memories that we make just be part of the strength of Northwestern. And as we prepare to enjoy this meal, I ask that we be ever aware of your goodness, of your grace, and of your abundant love. In the name of Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
Thank you, John. Today, we have our traditional chicken fried steak buffet prepared for you by Chartwell's, our outstanding food service provider. Now, we've got lines set up in the back of the room, and we invite our inductees to lead us off. Then we'll begin with the tables at the front of the room and work our way towards the back. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here and enjoy your lunch. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to stop any of the eating or the incredible conversations and storytelling, so please feel free to continue to relate with each other and reminisce as we move forward with our program. Each year, the Sports Hall of Fame is generously supported by some outstanding local partners. Each of these institutions go above and beyond in their support of Northwestern, our students, and our athletic teams, and we cannot thank them enough. This year's sponsors for the recognition banquet include our partners from Alva State Bank, and the great people at High Plains Bank. If you don't mind, let's give each of them a round of applause, thanking them for their It is truly an honor of mine to introduce our university president, Dr. Bo Hannaford. Dr. Hannaford's connection to Northwestern runs deep and spans decades of service. As a former student, an athlete, a coach, a professor, a dean, a vice president, and now our president, he has experienced Northwestern from nearly every perspective and has played an instrumental role in shaping the university as we know it today. His commitment to this institution and the success of our students and student athletes has been unwavering, and his leadership continues to leave a strong impact on the Ranger community. As we gather to celebrate the achievements of our newest Sports Hall of Fame inductees, it is especially meaningful to hear from someone who truly embodies what it means to be a Ranger. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to our president, Bo Hannaford.
On behalf of everyone here at Northwestern Oklahoma State University, we want to welcome you back to your campus. It's a great day to be a Ranger, and we're so happy that all of you are here. To our current Hall of Fame members, I want to thank you for being here. We always love to honor you each year, but I know that you guys come back also to support our 4 new inductees. To our new inductees, I want to say congratulations. Well deserved. We look forward to hearing your stories. And you are now among the best of the best of Northwestern athletics. You know, I get to do a lot of things as president, a lot of activities, get to speak to a lot of people. This event and events like this are some of my favorite, and I want to tell you why. We get an opportunity to see our old teammates, old friends. We get to see some old faculty members, our coaches, our mentors. Sometimes it's community members that are here that have invested in us. And the great thing, and I want to encourage you all to do this, we do get to tell some of those stories. Some of the stories that sometimes we can only tell in our little inner circles back in the day. We can't always talk about them. But we also get to tell each other how much we appreciate one another. We get to tell our mentors how much they meant to us for investing in us, their time. And also we get to tell each other we care about each other and we love each other. So make sure you do that today with somebody in this room. But again, congratulations. Enjoy your day. And we hope to see you back here again. Ride Rangers Right. Thank you.
Thank you, President Hannaford. At this time, let's invite Vice President Franz back to the podium to present this year's Hall of Fame scholarship to a very deserving Ranger. Coach.
Northwestern Hall of Fame Scholarship was established in 1999 by someone I consider one of my premier mentors, and I hope I can carry on the tradition that he is, and that's Dr. Randy Smith and his wife, Mitzi. Dr. Smith received his bachelor's degree from Northwestern in 1975 and was a member of the Ranger baseball team. He later became Northwestern's baseball coach and athletic director along with numerous other positions, but was inducted in the Hall of Fame in 2005. Northwestern inducted the first class in 1993. This scholarship honors a Northwestern student athlete who exhibits the highest levels of character, integrity, athletic, and academic performance. It continues the spirit of those who built a tradition of excellence for Ranger athletics. 2026 recipient is Cadence Long Torres. Cadence is a junior from Northwestern Oklahoma State, women's cross country and track and field from Moore, Oklahoma. Cadence is a premier scholar, holding a 4.0 GPA, making the President's Honor Roll numerous times throughout her career, and is described by her coach, Sterling Broomfield, as one of the hardest workers he has. She is a psychology major who wants to work as a mental health performance consultant when finished at Northwestern and then pursue her master's degree. Cadence is accompanied by her parents, Stephanie Long and Roger Patterson. Cadence, would you please come with your parents? Dr. Smith, if you step forward to accept your award. Let's give her a big round of applause.
Congratulations, Kate. Well, we're going to continue with one more segment. The Northwestern Sports Hall of Fame was created in 1992 and inducted its inaugural class in 1993. Before today, 120 Ranger greats and one athletic team have been awarded the highest athletic honor given by Northwestern Oklahoma State University. Today, we're fortunate that a number of the Hall of Fame members have returned to campus for this event. I'd like to recognize them and ask them to stand or wave, and that maybe we hold our applause until we've gotten through the entire list. And hopefully this is one of the years where I actually get everybody that is in the room and deserves to be recognized. We'll see how it goes. Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Famers with us today. From the 2025 class, Fred Slaughter. From the 2024 class, Cody Hooper. Inducted in 2021, Coach Bob Battisti. From the 2019 class, Ryan Hintergard. From the 2016 inductee class, Dr. Steve Lohman and Coach Joe Phillips. From the 2015 inductee class, Fred Chandler. From the 2012 inductee class and as a member of the 99 National Championship football team, Al Hunt. From the 2008 class, Brian Clopier. Also from 2008, Mike Perkins. From the class of 2005, Dr. Randy Smith. From the class of 2004, Coach Milburn Barton. From the class of 2003, Kayla Haskins. From the 2001 class, Jim Schrader. And from the class of 2001, Coach Ronnie Jones. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them all a big round of applause. Did I miss anybody? Do we have a Hall of Famer here that I did not recognize? If so, you get to come up and give a short speech. Looks like we got it this year. Membership in the Northwestern Sports Hall of Fame again represents the highest honor bestowed on a Ranger athlete. Each inductee is recognized with a handcrafted horse and rider plaque, an enduring symbol of tradition, excellence, and pride. These beautiful plaques are created by Dr. David Boland and his wife, Emily. In addition to the plaques, each Hall of Fame member will receive a custom watch featuring a Ranger logo on the dial. Only 124 of these watches exist, making them a rare and lasting symbol of the pride, tradition, excellence, and loyalty of the Ranger Nation. Rangers, we will now begin the presentation of the 2026 class of inductees to the Northwestern Sports Hall of Fame. Each of these inductees will be introduced individually and invited to come forward, should they choose, and share a few remarks. Once all of our inductees have been formally welcomed to the Hall of Fame, I'd ask each of the four of you to return to the front of the room so that we can get some group photos with you and your plaques. We will then reconvene later today for a second recognition during halftime of the men's basketball game in the gym. And with that being said, on with our inductions. Our first inductee into the Hall of Fame class of 2026 is a 1987 graduate of Northwestern Oklahoma State University. Jeff Allen is remembered as one of the most versatile players in Ranger baseball history. A key member of the baseball program, Jeff had the rare ability to contribute in nearly every role on the field, playing all infield positions and serving as a starting pitcher during his career. From 85 to 87, Jeff competed as a student athlete while earning his bachelor's degree in business. He made an immediate impact in his first season, helping the Rangers to a 33-win campaign while batting .271. On the mound that same year, he recorded 8 wins and logged 80 innings of work. Over his 3 seasons with the Rangers, Jeff helped guide the program to 3 consecutive 20 or better win seasons. He was a consistent presence both as a starting pitcher and the team's shortstop, and his contributions earned him all OIC conference recognition, including second-team honors his senior year. Jeff's name remains firmly etched in the Ranger record books. His .432 single-season batting average ranks 8th all-time today. His .354 career batting average places him 16th in program history, and he ranks 15th in career hits with 133 and 11th with career walks at 69. Testaments to both his skill and consistency at the plate. Following his time at Northwestern, he transitioned his leadership and work ethic into the business world, and in 1992 he became a partner at Associated Mortgage Corporation, and within a year was named president and CEO of the Tulsa-based company. Under his leadership and guidance, the company expanded to include offices in Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Amarillo, Texas, Fayetteville, and Rogers, Arkansas. It is truly a pleasure to honor Jeff Allen in this ceremony and welcome him to the Ranger Sports Hall of Fame.
Mitzi, you were right. That's a little overwhelming. Thank you all for attending, and thank you for the applause. Standing here is very humbling. If this induction had been put up for a vote, I'm not certain that I would have voted for myself. I'm completely honest. I'm not sure. But goodness gracious, let me start over. That's not false humility. It's simply reality of knowing how many outstanding players and teammates came through this university. And for that, I am greatly honored to be mentioned alongside them. Also to be inducted with the other people, Greg, Melvin, and Mario. Congratulations to you guys. It is an honor to be inducted with you today. As he mentioned, I attended Northwestern from 84 through 87, playing shortstop, pitcher, and ultimately first base. But Northwestern gave me far more than a jersey or a place to play baseball. It gave me discipline, accountability, structure, and standards. It taught me how to show up early, stay late, and how to respond when things don't go your way, and how to lead. These lessons didn't stay on the field. I rely on them every single day in my life. My coaches, my teammates, all the lessons that I learned from those guys shaped who I am today. A huge part of that foundation came from my head coach, Randy Smith. Coach Smith was instrumental in my growth, not only as a player, but as a person. I've never met anyone that had anything negative to say about him, and for good reason. Coach Smith, thank you for believing in me, challenging me, and shaping the way I approach both baseball and my life. Thank you. I'd also like to recognize Joe Phillips, my assistant coach, whose competitive passion for winning left a lasting impression on everybody that played for him. That passion struck me in 1988-89, and when I had the honor of returning to be his very first assistant coach after getting the head coaching position. I'm not certain he would admit this to Tanya today, but I believe he called me before he called her, asking me to come help him out. That was definitely a full circle moment for me, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity to come back to Northwestern. One lesson Coach Smith taught me still stands out today. After being the starting shortstop my sophomore and junior years, Coach asked me before my senior year to change positions to make room for an incoming transfer stud, Jeff Rood. I had plenty of reason to be upset about this. I thought what I thought was my spot, but my coaches did a great job of helping me understand what it meant to be a great teammate and to do what was best for the team. So I moved to first base, and in doing that, I ended up having the best offensive season of my career. Hit .432, as I think they mentioned, and at the time, I think set the school hitting record. That experience taught me something I've carried ever since. Put the team first and trust the process. It's a moment in my life that really puts all this into into perspective for me. In the summer of 1984, I took a recruiting visit to Alva and to see Coach Smith. And I didn't realize that I had committed to him, or he thought so anyway, that I had committed to come. And later that summer, I decided to go to OU with a couple of my best friends. It was late. It was a Thursday late in August. School started in Alva that day and was going to start at OU on Monday. We rented an apartment. I got home that night. Coach Smith had called my junior college coach asking me to call. I called him and said, "Hey, I thought you were coming. You were going to be my starting shortstop." And I'm like, "Oh man, that sounds great." And so from there, he convinced me with that one phone call, convinced me to come to Northwestern. I then had to call my two buddies, one of them, which is here with me today, that I wasn't going to OU. Instead, I was going to go to Northwestern. And much to my surprise, Mr. Brad Pearson informed me that his family was from Alva. His granddad lived here. His dad grew up here and went to school at Northwestern, and they would be thrilled if he came to Northwestern with me. Wow, fate would have it. Then I had to call my junior college teammate, Greg Hunter, and he also agreed to come to Northwestern. It was then that I realized I might have a future in sales. Looking back, it's amazing how life works. You don't always recognize in the moment. But you find yourself in that fork in the road. One path feels safe, secure, maybe even expected. The other feels uncertain, but keeps calling you. I chose the second one, and that single decision completely transformed the trajectory of my life. Excuse me, I tend to get emotional just a little bit. There's a quote that I've liked that captures that idea, if I can get this right. Not every lion that chased a deer caught it, but every lion that caught a deer chased it. Baseball teaches you that you can prepare, you can get a good pitch, put a good swing on it, and still make it out. But if you never step in the box, you never take the at-bat, you've already failed. Northwestern gave me the confidence to keep stepping back in the box and to keep competing and trusting the work, even when the outcome isn't guaranteed. Some of my favorite memories at Northwestern, you don't want to sit and listen to me talk about all the things. Some of them wouldn't be appropriate, I know, but a couple of items on the field, or my very first game, kind of bookend deal here I'll briefly talk about. My very first game at Northwestern, we played Phillips University here. Cody Hooper, fellow Hall of Famer on the mound, shut out the Haymakers 10-0. They went to the College World Series that year, but that game really set out our season, the success that we had, and showed us if we worked together what we could do. And that was a really cool thing. And the bookend that was my final home game here at Northwestern. We beat the number 1 ranked team in the country, Southeastern, on our field 12-11. And let's see, I'll get something here. And I'll just say that it ended with a very competitive situation on the field. Moments like that are why we love this game. They stay with you long after the final out. Family has always been the center of everything I've done. I want to recognize my wife, Joy, whom I dated while attending Northwestern. And got married prior to returning to coach here nearly 38 years ago. Joy, thank you for your patience, your faith in me, and walking this journey with me from the very beginning. To my 3 children, my son Tyler, my daughter Caitlin, and her husband Zach, thank you. Tyler and Caitlin worked with me at AMC Mortgage, which has been one of my greatest treasures. and my youngest daughter, Lauren, who just graduated from the University of Alabama, Roll Tide. We are incredibly proud of you. But that's never been said here before. I'd also like to acknowledge my parents who are no longer here, Greg Allen and Betty Whitaker. They traveled all over the country to watch me play, and I certainly wouldn't be here without their love and support. Started my first business during my last and final semester at Northwestern, and looking back, it's clear that confidence, work ethic, and competitive mindset I developed here laid the foundation for my career. Northwestern didn't just prepare me for baseball, it prepared me for life. This honor isn't about what happened on the field, it's a reflection of the coaches, the teammates, family, and friends that poured into me along the way. I'm incredibly proud to be part of Northwestern baseball, proud of what this program stands for, and deeply honored to accept this recognition. Thank you, this truly means more to me than words can say. Ride, Rangers, ride.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for Hall of Famer Jeff Allen. Our next inductee is a 1982 graduate of Northwestern Oklahoma State University. Greg Johnson is remembered as one of the most versatile and dynamic athletes of his era. A standout member of both the Ranger football and track and field programs. Greg's exceptional speed and athleticism set him apart the moment he arrived on campus. From 1979 to 1982, Greg was a 4-year contributor in both sports while earning his bachelor's degree in health and physical education. On the football field, Greg competed as a defensive back and a wide receiver, while on the track he established himself as an elite sprinter. His senior season in 1982 proved especially memorable as he earned all conference and all district honors in football and was a member of Northwestern's conference championship track team. Throughout his career, Greg was a 4-year starter in football and competed in track each of those years, earning all conference recognition in both sports. His elite speed remains part of Northwestern's history, highlighted by a 10.4 second time in the 100, a 4.4 second 40-yard dash, and a 20.8 second time in the 200-meter dash, a school record that stands to this day. Following his graduation, Greg continued his impact on the game through coaching. He spent many years at Langston University leading the Lions to their first conference championship in 20 years, earning 4 Coach of the Year honors. Today he continues to mentor young athletes as the head football coach at Watauga High School in Watauga, Oklahoma. It is with great pride that we recognize Greg Johnson as a member of the Northwestern Sports Hall of Fame.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here. I haven't been back to Northwestern except for competition playing against Northwestern while I was at Langston. Of course, I was telling Coach we did a little 7-on-7 this past summer. So it's always good to come back. It's always good to come home. And it's always good to call a place home. And this is where I got my start. And I was talking to Mrs. Jones earlier and I told her she taught me how to swim. You know, I learned a lot. I learned a lot, trust me, at Northwestern. But I'll get right into my speech, and I'll try not to get too emotional. But they say good things come in threes, and being a member of Watauga Hall of Fame, Langston Hall of Fame, and now coming to Northwestern and being a Hall of Fame member, it's a little overwhelming. First thing I thought of, I said I must be getting old, you know, because they're giving me all these accolades. But, you know, some things did happen in my life, and for my life to go full circle to come to Northwestern and be a Hall of Fame member, and then Mr. Hildebrand giving me an opportunity to come back to Watauga where I got my start, I couldn't have wrote a better story about my life, you know. So I'm gonna try to condense all 37, 38 years in the next 5 or 6 minutes, okay? So just kind of bear with me. Obviously, like I said, I grew up single parent in Watauga, and you know, I tell that story all the time to my athletes about, you know, having a mom and dad is a good thing, but sometimes you grow up single parent, it's a little bit harder. And you know, my mom had my brother, who was a better athlete than me, at age 14, and then I came along at age 16. So they called us Irish twins because they always say Gary Gray. And Mr. Smith asked me about my brother. 3 or 4 people asked me about my brother. Like I said, I've been at Langston and then at Watauga, and they say, hey Gary, congratulations, you know. And they always get me mixed up with my brother. But anyway, but as I stand here in Alva, I look at the speed of the players and the players today, and talk about, you know, things that I did and how I ran. Most of the time when I was running scared. And my brother always told me to toughen up because I always played scared. So if I had to play one more down, and I don't know why I wrote this, but anyway, it was good at the time. I said I'd probably break in half. But a quick story, I was 50, I was coaching at Texas Southern. We were doing sprints. And then one of the kickers said, Coach, you can't run. And of course I lost my mind. We took off, I was running for 40, I pulled my hamstring. So I said, you're probably right, I can't run anymore. So, but sometimes your mind and body don't work together. But my journey to the podium wasn't a straight line. I came to Northwestern with a dream and a very bad knee. And a lot of people looked at me and saw a finished career. My first offer was at Southwestern, but they thought my knee was too bad. But Coach Massey, he saw something in me that nobody saw in me. He took a chance on me, and I came to Northwestern with a bad knee. I hurt it my sophomore year, and we still won state, but I hurt it my sophomore year. But Coach Massey took a chance on me, and that first year, what happened? I hurt my knee again. So I did a little rehab after that, and the next 3 years were, you know, those all-conference years and all district. But he did take a chance on me, and Coach Walter Johnson, okay, he was my track coach and also the wide receiver coach. And one of my teachers in high school, Mr. King, he always said, Greg, you were faster than most people on one leg and some people on 2 legs. So, but I did do a lot of rehab and got myself in a little better shape and finished my college career. But I spent most of my life proving people wrong. All I ever needed was an opportunity and a chance. And that is a lesson that I carried with me all my life. And I learned that here, getting an opportunity, getting a chance. To my former teammates, Gibby is here. One of my best friends is here, Van Meter. This honor belongs to you guys that I hung out with, stories that I can tell, stories that I can't tell. I think of those long road trips and the locker room and the daily grind of practice and coming from high school in a winning program and then coming here, and we weren't so good, but there was a lot of experiences come out of not being when you weren't a good team, okay? It builds character, and that's what we're doing now. We coaching character, okay? I think about surviving practice, but also think about surviving the nightlife here, or should I say nightlife. So I just got a gold card from somebody from the nightlife. I was like, yeah, y'all gave me a gold card for the nightlife? I'm like, I thought I was banned from the nightlife. So I guess now I can go back to the nightlife. This guy over here got his head down over here. We can only tell those stories among ourselves, but there's some good stories about it. But if we felt like if we could survive the nightlife, we could survive the practice the next day. So there's some good experiences. So those are not just good memories, those are friendships and bonds for a lifetime. I took the grit that I learned here and I turned into a career in leadership at Langston University. Had the honor of leading them to 5 conference titles. And when life brought me full circle back to Watauga, like I said, we're not winning now, but in time, I think we're going to get there. Like I said, coming out of high school, winning state championships, and I'm all about winning. And that's why I've stayed in this game so long. The game has really, it's kept me young, it's kept me energetic. And I'm looking at some of the pictures, and you might think, well, Mark said it was 47 years ago, and I still got the same afro. How about that? Hanging on to my hair. But I think that's just good genes in my family. But I say a legacy is not just about rings or trophies. A legacy is about the impact you leave on men and those players and who those players become. Just this past week, I got an email from a young man who I didn't even remember. He said he played for me in '94, and I'm going like, yeah. Of course, I don't remember. And he said, hey, thanks for being a part of my life. Now I'm married, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. I've been successful. He said, I was only out there on the field with you for 2 or 3 weeks. He said, but I did learn a lot about himself and his character. But that's why you coach. That's why you coach. You get a call like that every now and then, and that's what makes you feel good about, what you did. A lot of times as a coach, you spend more time with players than you do with your own family. My family, just a little bit about them. Got 4 kids. I got 12 grandkids. Okay, so after I retire, I'm going to be pretty busy. Okay. My family at the table, I'm going to recognize them. My mother passed away a few years ago, but her 2 sisters are here. They helped raise me. One is the younger, and one is the older. But I got two aunts in town. Okay, my girlfriend Dana, she's been with me. Anytime you got a wife or a girlfriend, they know what it's like to be with a coach, because sometimes you bring it home and it gets pretty tough. And a friend of mine, Rick Carter, and my best friend, he's the one that had a lot to do with me being here, Mark Van Meter, and we used to be rivalries in high school at Fairview, and then he came to Northwestern, and we became the best of friends. We competed against each other all our lives, and some stories I could tell, and some stories I can't tell, okay? But that guy right there, brother from another mother, and you talking about my best friend, like I said, me and that guy go way back, but appreciate him being here for me. Like I said, I came here over 40-some years ago for a degree and a jersey. Today I stand here with a bachelor's degree from Northwestern, a master's degree from Tennessee Tech. We talked about the doctorate degree, but I think it's just going to be talk right now. And a 3rd Hall of Fame. To my friends and family and teammates, thanks for the support, the brotherhood, the committee, Dr. Hannaford, and everyone who was responsible for this. I appreciate it. It's a little overwhelming. I'm glad I wrote everything down. Last thing here I got is, don't let anyone define your limits. If a guy with a bad knee can end up here, imagine what you can do if you just refuse to quit. I always say this, have some grit and refuse to quit. Another old saying that I always say is, tough times don't last long, tough people do. And that's what I live by, and that's what I coach by. Thanks for this honor. Ride, Rangers, ride.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Famer, Greg Johnson. Our 3rd inductee today made his mark on Northwestern Oklahoma State University men's basketball program with his sharp shooting and clutch performances from beyond the arc. Melvin Swift competed for the Rangers during the 87-88 and 88-89 seasons. Melvin quickly became a key contributor and left a lasting legacy on Ranger basketball history. A 2-year student athlete, Melvin graduated with a degree in mass communication, and from his very first season, he was immediately impactful, helping lead the Rangers to a 17-11 record, the program's first outright conference championship in more than 40 years, and an appearance in the OIC Conference District 9 semifinals. One of the defining moments of his career came when he hit a school record 7th three-pointer at the buzzer to defeat nationally ranked Oklahoma City University. Over his 2 seasons, Melvin helped guide Northwestern to back-to-back winning campaigns, starting both years under head coach Bob Battisti. He earned all OIC honors each season, receiving first-team recognition both years. Melvin concluded his Ranger career averaging 17.7 points a game and 6.3 rebounds while shooting 47.3% from the field and 43% from behind the arc. He was also an 82.7% shooter from the free throw line. He also recorded 35 career steals and set school records at the time for most three-pointers in a game with 7, in a season with 66, and in a career with 92. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure to welcome to the Northwestern Sports Hall of Fame, Melvin Swift.
Kind of changed my life because I was going through a lot of stuff in Houston. But Coach came down and got me. I'm gonna tell you the story about it. Coach came down. My mom was real strong. She was headstrong. She didn't want nothing. She wanted nothing but greatness for her family and plus me. So Coach and my mom sat out there all night long. It was from about 8 that evening till about 6 that next morning. Before Mom even signed the papers. And then on the way back, Coach was so tired he couldn't drive. Guess who drove? Me. I ain't know how to drive at all. And I drove all the way back to here. And it's been, and now it's history. And like I said, I don't want to say too much, but I love the Ranger family. The 2 years that I was here, I had a wonderful time. Coach Battisti again, you put in work for me, sir. Down here, you brought me here, and I appreciate that. Coach France as well. I wish my mom and my son and my dad was here, but you know, they're here in spirit. They're all here in spirit, and like I said, this is Ranger family, man. It's all, we all came together. I wish some of my friends were here, but you know, they're here in spirit as well. And I had a good time here. It slowed me down, because I was out there. I was out there running all over the place. But I got it, when I came down here with Coach France and Coach Battisti, it slowed me down. Now, I have greatness in my life. My grandkids and my kids that see me gone when I'm gone. It's history. Ranger pride is still in my heart. It's never gonna change. I talk about it all the time. Now, I got greatness in me. I love Ranger. I came here, I was just so surprised. You know, this like I told Coach Ron earlier, a state trooper was behind me, and he kept on fighting behind me. I wonder what he fought behind me for. So he stopped me. He said, what's your name? I said, Melvin Swift. And I guess he knew who I was. So he said, well, okay, you go on. But you're moving too slow. I said, I'm just trying to get to the students. He said, oh gosh. He said, you move too slow, you need to move real fast. He said, but your name's Swift. He said, why are you moving so slow? Your name's Swift. I was kind of nervous because I saw it behind me. But like I said again, I had a great time here. The 2 years I was here, oh man, we turned the whole program around. Like I said, the program, when I got here, the program was kind of down a little bit. But the spirit of me brought it back. And I appreciate it. And once again, go Rangers.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Famer, Melvin Swift. Our final inductee this afternoon made an immediate and long-lasting impact as a member of the Northwestern Oklahoma State University men's basketball program. Mario Woodson is known for his ability to score in the paint, control the boards, and protect the rim. Mario played 2 standout seasons for the Rangers during the 98-99 season and the 99-2000 campaigns. In his first season at Northwestern, Mario helped lead the Rangers to a 23-10 record and a Red River Athletic Conference championship by capturing the conference tournament title, ending a 3-year championship drought for the program. Over his 2 seasons in Alva, Mario was a key contributor in back-to-back 20-win seasons for the Rangers, consecutive conference championships, and national tournament appearances. His leadership both on and off the court earned him the role of team captain, and he was recognized with first team all Red River Athletic Conference honors during his senior season. Mario concluded his collegiate career averaging 12.5 points a game and 10.9 rebounds per contest while shooting an impressive 55.9% from the field and 63.7% from the free throw line. Defensively, he was an absolute force in the paint, recording 109 career block shots, a total that ranks second all time in Ranger basketball history. Following his graduation in 2000, Mario continued his basketball career professionally overseas, playing in Turkey until his retirement in 2009. Today, he resides in Enid, Oklahoma, where he owns a trucking company, serves as a program manager with the Oklahoma Juvenile Justice Services, and gives back to the game as an assistant head coach of the Enid High School basketball team. Ladies and gentlemen, truly a privilege and an honor to welcome to the Northwestern Sports Hall of Fame, Mario Woodson.
Well, I really don't have to speak. I ain't never been this nervous in my life. I just want to thank the community of Alva and Northwestern for letting me come here and Coach Batista and his wife. And I just don't know what else to say, y'all. I mean, I'm just so nervous and so happy to be here. And I just know Batista the one got me to come over here. He came to Alabama and got me. And I was all over the country just traveling and staying in nice hotels, and Coach Batista came and put me in Colorado Hall visit up here for the weekend. And so I left and went to Tarleton Steaks and signed with Tarleton Steaks in Texas. And then Coach Batista sent his boys to come and get me in Arkansas, which was Corey Miller and Andrew Brown. And I'm just saying, Coach Batista technically is my Hall of Fame. He the one who made me believe who I am today. So that's all I have to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, Hall of Famer, Mario Woodson. That concludes our ceremony today. Audience members, we ask that you would please place your name tags on the table so that we can collect those for your next trip back. If the current Hall of Fame inductees would please come to the front so that we can get some photographs of you before we head over to the gym, we appreciate it. Big games tonight as the Rangers men and women are set to take the floor very soon. We hope to see everybody loud and proud in the gym. Thank you for being here, and ride, Rangers ride. Also, Hall of Famers, we're going to introduce you to the
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very special day on the campus of Northwestern Oklahoma State University. It is Hall of Fame Saturday. Today we have a two-part ceremony. The first taking place here at halftime of the women's game, the second part taking place at halftime of the men's game. We want to open Hall of Fame Saturday with our recognition ceremony. Seated across the court are the members of Northwestern's Sports Hall of Fame, previously inducted, returning here today to cheer on the Rangers and welcome new members into our most prestigious athletic realm. At this time, we want to recognize the Northwestern Sports Hall of Fame members, and to do so, I am honored to welcome to the floor a man who is a leader, a scholar, and a Ranger, not to mention a Hall of Famer himself. A standout on the baseball diamond for the Rangers and eventually head coach of the program from 81 to 88 before moving into the administrative ranks here at Northwestern. He was instrumental in bringing the Northwestern Sports Hall of Fame to life and was inducted into the Hall of Fame class of 1995. Please join me in welcoming Hall of Famer Dr. Randy Smith.
Thank you, Matt. That stand out on the baseball field was a little bit of a stretch, but always glad to be back. When I was athletic director, it was my favorite day of the year, without question. And I love this place, love all the people that made this possible, and it's always a great day to be a Ranger. I want to remind you, as we introduce our inductees, we have an empty chair on one end. We started that a couple of years ago, just to leave one vacant to help us remember those Hall of Famers who have gone before us. And many of them are familiar names to you: Lloyd Stout, Cecil Perkins, Walter Johnson, Art Parkhurst. There's probably 30-something of them, and I never want to forget them. They're the basis for how we built all this. And anyway, I want us always to take a minute to reflect and remember those great people. So, with that, I want to introduce you to some people that you may know and you may not know. Starting with, I always go ladies first. Starting with the first one, this young lady was destined for greatness before she ever walked on campus. Her dad was captain of our football team. Her mother was homecoming queen. Her brother was a member of the football team. Her husband was a member of our football team. She came to us from Alva High School. Started 4 years for Coach Martin from 1981 to 1985. Only the second Lady Ranger to ever score 1,000 points. She was MVP of the Cameron Tournament. Say hello to Hall of Famer Kayla Landreth Haskins. Our next Hall of Famer needs no introduction. If you get who it is, his name is right here on the court. Came to us from Arnett, Oklahoma. Spent 21 years as a head coach of the Lady Rangers, 350 wins. His 1981 team went 24-2, ranked number 2 in the nation. That team beat Oklahoma State, Wichita State, and Oral Roberts. Tremendous career. 2 times he was OIC Coach of the Year, and for that he was inducted into the Oklahoma Girls Basketball Hall of Fame. Say hello to Hall of Famer Melvin Barton. Another Alva Goldbug came to us as an assistant coach. When he became defensive coordinator is when things changed around here. His attention to detail, his game preparation was incredible and better than anything I'd ever seen. So when I had the chance to promote him to head coach, I knew it was the right decision. And was it ever? 3 years later, we won the conference, and for that he was named the conference Coach of the Year, a great motivator and a great guy, Hall of Famer Steve Loman. Our next Hall of Famer is a guy who, to me, has kind of flown under the radar. Came to us from Waxahachie, Texas. He is two-time all-conference defensive back, 2-sport star. He still has the second most interceptions in school history with 16. He also won the 400 meter in the conference track meet twice. A tremendous all-around athlete. was a graduate assistant, was an assistant, was a coordinator, and finally was the head coach of the Rangers. He's Hall of Famer Fred Slaughter. Another one that has kind of flown under the radar, I think, when he left here, he held 7 school baseball records. Tremendous third baseman, also a tremendous pitcher. 2 of those records that stand out to me, 200 career hits. 200 career hits. A lot of people haven't had 200 hits in their lifetime, much less in the 4 years that they were here. Also recorded 13 strikeouts in 1 game as a pitcher on the mound in 1999. He was voted first team All-American. Say hello to Hall of Famer Ryan Hindergarten. Our next one came to us from Ark City, Kansas. After 2 years at Cali Community College, a power-hitting first baseman that was the greatest on-the-field leader I ever coached. He hit 4 home runs in 4 consecutive trips to the plate on 1 occasion, and as good a player as he was, first team All-Conference, he was an even better head coach. 49 wins in a single season, school record. 452 career wins, also a school record. Hall of Famer Joe Phillips. Our next Ranger came to us from Farmington, New Mexico, and I will just tell you, he's the best pitcher I ever had. First team All-Conference as a senior, and the reason that's worth mentioning, it was 35 years before we had another first team All-Conference pitcher here at Northwestern. That's how hard that is to do. Again, good a player as he was, he went on to coach our softball team for 13 years and record a whopping 338 wins. He's Hall of Famer Cody Hooper. Our next Ranger was a little bit ahead of his time. Came to us from Fairview, member of the men's basketball team, All-Conference his junior and senior year, scored 1,300 points, averaged 17 points a game, and you have to remember he did that at a time when not many points were scored. Games weren't in the 80s, games were in the 50s, and he racked up those numbers. Great guy, great basketball player, Hall of Famer Jim Schrader. Our next Ranger needs no introduction. His name also is on the court on both ends. Coached the Rangers for 21 seasons, 374 wins, 4 conference championships. He was the NAIA National Coach of the Year. In 2023, we put his name and Milburn's name on each end of the court to show our appreciation for everything they did. He's Hall of Famer Bob Battisti. Our next Ranger is another 2-sport athlete, baseball and basketball. Came to us from Calumet, Oklahoma. He scored 1,138 points while he was here, 217 threes during the time he was here. At the time he did that, it was second. Still pretty close to that. Great all-around player, one of the best shooters that we have ever had. Hall of Famer Shane Hansen. Our next Ranger, another Alva High product. He's the son of the great Hall of Famer Cecil Perkins. He was a catcher, a pitcher, a first baseman, and anything else we needed him to do. He and the guy sitting next to him were the glue of that 1979 team that set a school record with 34 wins. I was an assistant coach that year, and it was a special team. Hit 323 lifetime, hit right at 400 his senior year, and because of that, he was an honorable mention All-American. One of the things that I think is worth mentioning, in a day when we go get pitchers in the 5th and 6th inning, and then we bring a reliever up, we went to Central State on a Friday. University of Central Oklahoma now. He pitches the first game, throws a no-hitter, gets behind the plate and catches the second game, and we win both games. He's Hall of Famer Mike Perkins. The other end of that duo in '79 that really made that team really good, this hard-throwing left-hander from Bayside, Oklahoma, came to us, 4-year starter, hard-throwing fastball, great control, good curveball, set the school record for the most wins in a single season with 11, also the school record for ERA, still has both of those records 40 years later. Hall of Famer Fred Chamber. Our next Ranger, most of you recognize. He's been around a lot. Came to us from Sunray, Texas. A tremendous three-sport athlete, football, baseball, and track. He and the guy sitting next to him were the two fastest guys I've ever seen in my life. And I played with both of them. After he left here, he played for a short time with the Denver Broncos, then embarked on a lifetime of tremendous coaching opportunities at Arizona State, then on to the NFL. He coached with the Arizona Cardinals, with the Buffalo Bills, the Houston Oilers, the Los Angeles Raiders, and Philadelphia Eagles, and that might not even be all of it, but a tremendous athlete. He and the guy next to him, I had the honor of playing center field when those two played right and left next to me. They were the fastest two people I'd ever seen, and the only balls I caught that year were the ones hit right at me, because they caught everything else out there. He came back, was our head football coach from 23 to 25, great Hall of Famer, Ronnie Jones. Our next Ranger came to us in Woodward, and arguably the greatest wide receiver we've ever had. When he left here, he had the record for most yards and receiving yards in a game, most receiving yards in a season, and most receiving yards in a career. That's about all you can do. Lightning speed, another two-sport athlete. He played outfield on that same baseball team. He's Hall of Famer Brian Clothier. Last but not least, a familiar face to most of you, he is the greatest dual-threat quarterback Northwestern has ever seen. He threw for 1,900 yards in 2 years. He rushed for 2,300 yards in 2 years. He led us to the 1999 National Championship, and for that he was awarded the most valuable player. He is Hall of Famer Al Hunt. Thank you so much for having the patience to let me reintroduce those people. If you haven't met them, I certainly would encourage you to. They're great guys. All of them are tied to success and winning. And they didn't love each other because they won. They won because they loved each other. Right, Rangers, right.
welcome to the Northwestern Sports Hall of Fame Induction Ceremony. Northwestern Oklahoma State University, the Northwestern Sports Hall of Fame, and the Northwestern Foundation, represented on this court this afternoon by the Vice President for Athletics, Mr. Brad Franz, are honored to further the legacy of Ranger athletics by adding 4 standout Rangers to the Northwestern Sports Hall of Fame. At this time, we want to recognize these athletes and their accomplishments that they earned on the field, the diamond, the track, and right here in the arena. Upon acceptance of the coveted horse and rider plaques, they will become members of the Northwestern Sports Hall of Fame. Our first inductee, Jeff Allen. Jeff is a 1987 graduate of Northwestern and one of the most versatile players in Ranger baseball history. From 85 to 87, he was a key contributor as both a starting pitcher and a shortstop, with the rare ability to play every infield position. As a freshman, Jeff helped the Rangers to a 33-win season while batting .271 and also recording 8 wins on the mound. Over his 3 seasons at Northwestern, Northwestern posted consecutive 20-win plus campaigns. Jeff earned all OIC honors, and he remains etched in the Ranger record books, ranking among the program's all-time leaders in batting average, hits, and walks. Tonight, we are proud to honor Jeff Allen as a member of the Northwestern Sports Hall of Fame. Our next inductee is Greg Johnson. Greg is an 82 graduate of Northwestern and one of the most dynamic multi-sport athletes of his era. From 79 to 82, he was a 4-year standout in both football and track. On the football field, he excelled as a defensive back and wide receiver, earning all conference and district honors during his senior season. In track, he was an elite sprinter and a key member of Northwestern's conference championship team. His speed remains legendary here in Ranger history, highlighted by a school record 20.8-second 200-meter dash, along with times of 10.4 in the 100 and 4.4 in the 40. Tonight, we proudly welcome to the Hall of Fame, Greg Johnson. Our third inductee is Melvin Swift. Melvin made his mark on Northwestern basketball as one of the premier shooters in program history, competing for the Rangers during the 87-88 and 88-89 seasons. Melvin was an immediate difference maker, helping lead Northwestern to its first outright conference championship in more than 40 years and back-to-back winning seasons. A 2-year starter and 2-time All-OIC selection, he delivered one of the most iconic moments in Ranger history, hitting a school record 7th three-pointer at the buzzer to defeat nationally ranked Oklahoma City University. Melvin finished his career averaging 17.7 points per game and set multiple 3-point records that still defy Ranger excellence. Tonight, please join me in welcoming to the Hall of Fame, Melvin Swift. Our final inductee for 2026 is none other than Mario Woodson. Mario was an immediate standout with a lasting impact on Northwestern men's basketball from the 98-99 and 99-2000 seasons. Known for his physical presence in the paint and rebounding ability, a rim protector, Mario helped lead the Rangers to back-to-back 20-win seasons, consecutive conference championships, and national tournament appearances. As a junior, he played a key role in Northwestern's Red River Athletic Conference Tournament Championship, hitting a 3-year title drought. A team captain and first-team all-conference selection as a senior, Mario finished his career averaging 12.5 points a game and nearly 11 rebounds, and ranked 2nd all-time in program history with 109 blocked shots. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, the Ranger pride extends as we add Mario Woodson to the Ranger Sports Hall of Fame. Ranger Nation, one more time, loud and proud for your 2026 Hall